October 2nd, 2024, half-mile north of Fairbank, Iowa on v68. Been here all night in my van by myself. Slept between 12:30 a.m., 1 a.m. to about 6:30 a.m. Got up, fed the cats, and then I'm back in the driveway here. Was in the driveway all night since August 9th when I got the van. I've been wherever the van is. And I was alone all night as usual. I haven't spent any time with anyone since 2016. None. I haven't had any sexual contacts for 6+ years. I have had no date, romance, relationship in 9 years. No friendship since 2016 due to all these things, due to stage lies and theft of my life. I've not hung out with anyone. I haven't been to a bar. I haven't had any alcohol in 2 years. Not been to a bar or had alcohol in 2 years, whatever their lies, since August of 2022. This is not jokes. This is not art. This is my life. I've said this over and over again. They get desperate, and whoever they are try to claim that everything is jokes or art. It's still the same. X.com/WADES2ND is serious. It's the truth about my life. I have no connection to anyone. I'm not filling in for anyone. There is no second person that went separate ways again yesterday. It was just me going to get car parts in Nashua, Iowa, for the suspension on my van because the frauds did something to my suspension of my van again, as they do to all my vehicles, so they can have it sagging in the back. Now they've sabotaged the fan on my heater air conditioner just when it's getting cold. It's not enough that I get tortured for 10 years. They got to keep doing things like that, nasty little things like this, so that I have to suffer more, even though it's been 10 years that I've been tortured, while my brother goes and sucks up to my parents so he can try and buy more land at a steep discount. So, I mean, it's just, I don't understand why I'm the one that has to suffer for 10 years when I'm the one telling the truth. My brother lies about me for 20 years. Has a driver's license in my name in 94, 95 with his picture, and is not telling the truth about reading my emails on my theory of the universe ideas in 2017, and I'm the one that has to suffer. Why? What did I do to anybody that I deserve this every day? Where they're still, sabotaging my van so that I can't have heat when it's just getting cold. Drove into the wind all day, or up into Nashua, as I could call the day before to arrange to get the vehicle parts, so it cuts my gas mileage in half when I'm driving into the wind, which in any trip I'm driving into the wind for whatever reason. 10.7-inch hands, green eyes, not blue. Wade Allen Heineman, born 11/4/71, circumcised 1971. All my ideas are my own, and I have a feeling this is why I'm meeting such resistance now, because the criminal is someone that they want to protect, whoever it is. They're all my theories. They are all my poems. They are all my inventions. Everything I write is my own. It's coming from me. It's not coming from someone trying to call me their dog, pet, cat, animal, robot, or whatever. I'm not anybody's robot. They're abusively using surveillance and digital technology to torture me with their lies. And more people are still, claiming connections to me they never had, some minor or whatever. The only interactions I have with women are on flirtforfree.com. They're all supposed to be adults. I cannot, like I used an example before, in 20 or in the 1980s, a female named Tracy Lords, who was 14 years old, tricked the entire porn industry into thinking she was 21 or an adult the whole time for like 3 to 5 years. So when I go on that site, I assume that they're all adults. When they look like they're definitely not to me, or it's very questionable, I won't stay in their room. I only stay in the rooms of the ones that I know are adults, or that I'm not the best at figuring ages out, but like if I went up to somebody in public, I would not be very good at figuring out their age. I've always been that way. I don't know why that is, but the ones that I visit, I'm confident they're adults, and it says that it marks their ages. I don't spend time with ones that are 18 or something usually. If I go in there, it's kind of like just kind of gauge, just kind of, if they got just kind of more friendly with them if they're like 18. I'm not being heavily flirtatious most of the time. If I'm, I can't even think of the last time I was, heavily flirtatious with someone that said they were 18 on their profile, or 19. But they're supposed to be adults, and that's why I go to that site, so I don't have to try and determine whether they're adults. They're supposed to mark their ages correctly, which is why I go on that site. And the reason I go on those a cam model site is because I can see them. If I go on a dating site or something like that, I know it's just going to be manipulators trying to manipulate me into either making me look bad, or in which they can do that on flirtforfree.com too. But my other option is sitting here like a monk without talking to anyone, as I can't for 7 years. I don't have anybody to talk to. So I'm going to go on there and see women that I'm attracted to and interact with them. And I'm not like this when I'm on there. I'm not serious. I'm more flirtatious, and I'll sometimes joke with them if they understand my humor. It's not puns like these people try and claim. I haven't done any. One pun, and then it's like I say one pun during the whole year, and then they take it to a lie level where they're doing something with puns that I didn't do. I said like one pun in 2024. That's it. And then they want to, because puns are stupid, they want to try and propagate that lie that I'm telling puns all the time. So I don't know how they're propagating that lie, but I'm not telling puns. My humor's more subtle than the puns usually. And I don't know, it's just misportrayal. Everything, 95% of what is portrayed about me is false, including the surveillance and surveillance about my penis and penis size, and whether I'm male or female, or got someone pregnant or was pregnant, whatever that lie was. Again, this is like third or fourth time about the pregnant lie, whether they're saying I got someone pregnant or I was pregnant and then they lost the pregnancy or I did. It's all lies. Why do we have to go through this all the time? I'm a man. I didn't get anybody pregnant. I haven't had any sex for 6+ years. I haven't had sex for 8+ years. I haven't had any sexual contact for 6+ years. I haven't had a sexual partner for 9 years, meaning a relationship that was sexual for 9 years, and I would never be with a male. I don't care how long I don't have sex. I will never be with a male. You're wasting your time if you're affectionate toward me in a romantic or sexual way and you're male. I don't want you. It's never happened. Whoever's portraying it, I wish them the worst of anything that could happen to them. I wish them the worst, because you are getting me tortured by portraying me as gay, and I cannot move on with my life and meet a female if people think that I'm gay. So I hate you more than everyone, because that keeps me alone and isolated in the fucking world. Whatever gay has tried to portray me as being with them, I hate them the most. And they're probably stealing my valuable stones and meteorites when they're portraying me as gay with them, breaking into my van or home and stealing the valuable. They're not mine, they're my parents', but I get 50% of the value once I sell them, which I've still not sold any of them. And I can't use the funds that I put in for my uncle's estate yet, because the bank puts a 7-day hold on them. So I can't settle up my small debts yet. You know, I was getting indications that these, you know, oppressors were getting on me about not paying my debts right away. I can't pay them until those funds are released. I cannot pay my debts until the funds are released 7 days from now. So, you know, it does no. They're just doing it to pick on me again. It's always about me. Why am I always the focus of it? You know, why do I get oppressed and suppressed immediately? They try and parallel me with Iran versus Israel. Is it because there's a Jewish person that's been stealing my ideas? You know, or is it that lawyer named Scott that was stalking me in 2016 to 2019? The skinny, short guy in Oelwein that has big city accent that I never heard a big city accent around here before. I don't know who he is other than he's a lawyer and his name is Scott and he's Jewish. That's the only Jewish person I've ever seen around here that I know of. I'm sure there's other Jewish people, but, you know, that's my first encounter with a Jewish person that I knew was Jewish, and he was stalking me 2016 to 2019 in a library in Oelwein and Independence. I don't know him at all. Outside of the libraries, I never seen him except for he was, you know, in different stores at times from 2016 to 2022, I think is maybe the last time I saw him. And I saw him in he would go to all my courtroom things that I'd have, whether it was the false accusations or the one where, you know, I was yelling at the adults that were kept bringing their little children into gas stations to stalk me for 3 months straight. And they charged me with disorderly conduct. I wasn't drunk. I wasn't on drugs. I was angry at the people that kept dragging their little children into gas stations and stalking me for 3 months straight, which they've still done periodically. I haven't lost it at them because they haven't been doing it for 3 months straight like they did at that time. And that's the only thing I pled guilty to since my OWI in 2016. It's the only thing that I had to plead guilty to. Everything else has been dismissed because it either wasn't valid, or the judge saw that there really wasn't a crime being committed. So, you know, and it's not really a crime when you yell at some adults that are supposed to know better than to stalk someone with their little children by dragging them into the gas station all the time for 3 months straight. You know, whatever their reasoning is, it's wrong to involve your children in stalking someone for whatever reason it is. And that's what society has lost, its common sense. And that's what I was trying to straighten them out with that day, by giving them a little wake-up call that you should not be dragging your kids into the gas stations for 3 months straight, stalking someone with them. Well, whatever the reason is, you know, unless you're going to tell that person why you're doing it, you're stalking me. And that's been going on for years and years now. And there, you know, it's more than that. The stalking goes way beyond just that incident. It happens constantly. So, So I'm not like this all the time. This is me explaining my life to people so that people understand why I am the way I am. You know, it's frustrating that I get tortured for 10 years, people stealing every aspect of me. I finally get a little bit of money, and now they're still wanting me to be suffering, so they sabotage the heat blower on my van, so that now there's no heat. I can't get heat out of my van when it's turning cold. So that's the kinds of things that they do. They took the one air shock out of the left side of my van so that it doesn't ride evenly, and that when I hit a bump, it doesn't, the suspension doesn't bounce evenly. It's wonky side to side, and it may travel down the road a little bit off because they cut out a piece of the suspension, which is an air shock, small air assist air shock on the left side, and probably someone very proficient with a torch welder, that type of person. And it's been indicated since 2016-17 when I worked at a trailer manufacturing company in Manchester that, one of those guys was one of the welders there, was one of the sabotage people. More than one. It was a group of people there that were sabotaging my life, which is why I ended up quitting, or they say they fired me, but I told them why I stopped going to work, because I was being harassed. Like, I would be painting underneath the trailer, and they'd be intentionally banging it with a hammer on top, just banging bare metal, so it would, hurt my ears while I was underneath the trailer, a group of the workers there. So that's why I told them I'm not going to work and I was going to quit. But they fired me after 3 days because I didn't get my paper in to protest what was going on there. So, that's what they got to do to cover their own butts, is, say that they fired me. But I was on time pretty much every day I went there. I didn't miss a day of work until that happened. So whatever the bullshit stories are about it, I was learning my job, and I was getting really good at my job already after a month or so at the job. So, whatever the stories are, it's always to make me look bad for 10 years now. Every single one, every single story that other people tell about me is to make me look bad. It's not accurate. Yesterday I went to get water for the cats, and I saw the dentist female. She's never on the road over there. So I saw her on the road, and I turned around and asked her whether her kids ever claimed a connection to me, because it was indicated that some of my neighbors were claiming some kind of connection to me. And she said, no, they would never do that. So I'm glad to hear that, because somebody's indicating that, then it makes me, suspicious of them. But it's still indicated that some neighbor, I know there's some neighbor or someone that claims to be my neighbor that claims a connection to me since 2016. I just don't know who it is because of all the reactions and all the indications. I know there's some neighbor that has claimed a connection to me. Whether they're still here or not, I don't know. But I've had absolutely no connection to any of my neighbors. Never had a specific attraction to any of my neighbors, as far as I really want to be with them or something like that. I haven't had any specific attraction to anybody in Iowa like that for 5+ years. Whoever's trying to claim that, or claim I'm out by the road here to, because I want them and they're driving by. No, it's because I'm here just to prove I'm here to the general public, that I'm the real Wade Allen Heineman. And that's why I'm out by the road since 2016. So do not let them, make it so that I'm wasting my time for, spending years out by v68 of my time proving that I'm home Wade Allen Heineman, and not that I'm trying to impress someone that's driving by. Those people, I don't even know who they are. I guarantee you, whoever claims I'm trying to impress them when they're driving by or trying to get them to like me, those are criminals. They're just frauds. I'm not trying to impress anybody. It's the general public I'm trying to show that I'm home, or I'm half mile north of Fairbank on v68. However, I'm out by the road. If I'm just out there, I've never had a lemonade stand or been selling anything. I'm just out there proving I'm here, because of all the staged lies and claims that I'm somewhere else or out of state, or I haven't flown on a plane or jet since 2011. I've rarely been out of sight of Iowa in the last 5 years. Since 2016, I haven't spent a day outside Iowa. Not a full day outside Iowa, just driving to, Illinois and Wisconsin a couple times since 2016. I haven't spent one day outside of Iowa. In 2016, it was just to go to Minnesota for a softball tournament that, we went to quite a few times when I was friends with my former friend Tim, who's a year and a half older than me. He's white. Anyway, I'm going to end this audio. I'm in my complaining mode because it's one thing after another, even after I've been tortured for 10 years and I didn't do anything to anybody to deserve this. And why am I being singled out when my brother is able to live his life? It has to be because whoever is claiming to have been married to me, whoever's trying to claim my ideas, my theories, inventions, blogs, poems, my theory of the universe, my physics theories, my earth science theories, my poems, all those things are my ideas. I have many housing sketches and building sketches and innovations in housing technology since the early 2000s as well. They steal all those notebooks, so I don't know who's stealing those ideas. And when I implement those ideas, they're my ideas. They're not going to be, somebody else's that stole my notebooks and then claimed the technology ahead of me. Because these are all things that I've been thinking about. I used to be a housing inspector, from 1997 to 2003. Then I was a housing planner. I was in construction from an early age, 18 years old. I was a construction worker. I've built things my whole life on the farm for my father. I have a mind that designs things. I have a mind that innovates things. I have a mind that can understand spatial things. And I have a mind for poetry now because I worked at it for 30 some years. So I wanted to be able to express my thoughts better in my 20s, and that's how I approached it, was to learn poetry, or learn how to write poems. And so I know how to write poems. I can write songs too. I could go be a songwriter right now. I know that. Why I don't do that? Because, I haven't had any money for 10 years, and, the considerations of what you do when you're broke, sitting at home and you have nobody somewhere else, and you have a network of people destroying your life, the considerations of what you do and how you protect yourself are, you don't have as many options as somebody who is just free and doesn't have a network of criminals destroying their life. So that's always a consideration, and 60% of my day or more is often used proving where I am, what I'm doing, unraveling the lies of the sabotage network, frauds. And I don't understand how some of them are still around. Like the one in Waterloo claiming I ever had some romantic interest in her, some teacher from Waterloo claiming I had a romantic interest in her, probably the one of them stealing some of my ideas or poems or something. why is she still around? How many times have I proven I have not had an interest in her? I don't know who she is. You know, why are these, some woman named Gloria, possibly the same person? I don't know. The neighbor, I've already said this so many times. I've never had any connection to any neighbor or interest in any. Not that, you know, the female dentist isn't, you know, an attractive woman, but she's been married and, you know, they had a volatile relationship, and I was never specifically interested in her, you know, but she's an attractive enough female that I could be interested in a lot of women. I'm just using her as an example, but I could be interested in a lot of women, but I haven't had any specific interest in any females in Iowa in 5+ years. That's just the truth. Whoever's trying to claim so is lying. It's been indicated it's a minor. No, she's just lying. I don't know why, what her motive in lying about my life is, but, you know, I don't understand why I'm the target of so many people. I don't get it. You know, I know because my local fame, well, whatever the fame level is, when that goes up, people know who you are. I understand that you're going to get more of this kind of stuff, but it's way out of proportion to any money I've ever made. That's for sure. Like, because I'm still broke. As I said, through my 40s, I should have been making money, and I should be a rich person by now with all the ideas I have that I could have developed through my 40s. But since I've been dealing with the sabotage network, people staging lies and thieving my life, breaking into my home and harassing me, and on and on, making false accusations, people claiming connection me I don't have, many of them. You know, all those things prevent me from living my life. And now, yesterday, I heard, you know, indicated that a radio Christian speaker is claiming that I'm selfish for wanting to move on with my life after 10 years of being tortured, isolated for 7. And I don't know who he thinks I'm being selfish in the face of, wanting to move on with my life, wanting to have a life, wanting to not be tortured, wanting to get my, you know, dental work fixed. And I don't know if he's talking because my bank, you know, the money's on hold and I can't pay my debts yet. And he's judging me already yesterday after one day of, you know, putting the checks in the bank while there's a hold on them. I don't know. It's like, how the hell am I being selfish? I mean, I was shocked, really. Because it was specifically, I believe, you know, intended for me. And I was in a state of shock from it. I mean, not like somebody that's, you know, being picked up by an ambulance in state of shock, but I was just like, for like 10, 20 minutes, I was just like in a state of shock, like how someone could call me selfish. When I've been tortured for 10 years, I've had a shower access for 7 years, or running water or water access where I live for 7 years, living as a homeless person, basically, in my vehicle much of that time, and without running water, adequate electricity, adequate heat, while a sabotage network attacks me and still is, you know, sabotaging my blower motor on my van just as it gets cold. I mean, this stuff's been going on for 10 years solid. It's not, these aren't coincidences. I know when things get sabotaged, so it's not, none of the things that I talk about are coincidence. When I put it in quotes like that, it's not, I'm saying, you know, sarcastically coincidence, because it's not coincidence. It's happening intentionally most of the time. And if I do sometimes use coincidence, I'm just questioning, is it really coincidence? It's either sarcastically saying it when I put it in the single quotes, or it's either sarcastic or I'm questioning whether it is coincidence. So when I put it in double quotes, I'm basically quoting something verbatim, or if I put it at the top of my post, I'm saying this is what has been indicated. This is what has been indicated, that, you know, it's like a news headline that's indicating something. You know, news headlines have been doing that forever, you know, indicating something with their news headline, which is what I'm doing when I put something in double quotes at the top of the post. Wade Allen Heineman, half mile north Fairbank, Iowa, October 2nd, 2024. YouTube.com/@symbol IAM WADEHEINEMAN. This is for that channel only, the audio here only. And x.com/WADES2ND. No Facebook in 3 years. I don't stream anything. I talk aloud in my vehicle because I know people can hear me. I don't speak Spanish. That, you know, they're confusing my voice with a Spanish speaker just because I'm talking aloud in my own vehicle. So I assume sometimes that it's Spanish speakers that are using, you know, recording equipment in my vehicles. I don't know who it is, but that's the indication, is that when I'm talking aloud, they're getting me confused with some Spanish speaker. And I have no idea who it is. But apparently one of them plays a guitar, because whenever I play guitar, they're confusing me with a Spanish-speaking guy or a female. And it's just me. I don't know anyone else that I don't know anyone else but myself that plays guitar or sings or is in a band or anything like that. And I've not sought to be in a band. Never been a smoker, never been a pot smoker, never been in the military, never been married, not ridden a motorcycle since 1996. Don't know anybody that rides motorcycle in 19 years. Wade Allen Heineman is my name. Green eyes, not blue.